watching iRacing on the Ghostfire Media Network.
Everyone, and welcome to Richmond Raceway for week 12 of the Sim500 Sharue Diecast Premier Xfinity Series. Tonight for Ghostfire Media, I'm Josh Laston, stepping in for Nick Adams, who's having a little bit of technical difficulties, but with me, as always, for this Wednesday night is Mr. Randy Pepper. How are you doing this week, Randy?
You know, I am great. I am happy to be here. I've been gone for a couple weeks, and if you didn't know, I was actually in the hospital, had heart surgery last week, and here I am. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be alive. God is good, and you know what? It looks like things are starting off just the way they did when I left. Daniel Falkingham is on the top of the board. Nothing has changed. I can't believe it. My guy, Mike Kelly, is sitting, fifth on the grid right now, but we'll see how they stack them up and run them out tonight. And I'm going to ask you what Nick usually asks me. You got to think about this a little bit. You run this track, you like this track a lot. I know that. What would be your tips to getting around this track tonight and surviving this race?
So, especially with my personal experience, because I can honestly say I've run at least 10 different cars on this track, not the least of which has been what we're getting to see these guys go around in tonight. My Mustang in the Xfinity series, my goal is to have absolute focus coming out of turn 2. Because as we actually see, when these guys are coming out of turn 2, there is a sudden drop off from the banking right where you're trying to exit, which is not only going to unsettle the rear end of the car, it's going to make it to where you have no grip whatsoever. So you have to exit relatively low in comparison to what you would normally on some form of a tri-oval to be able to keep that back end safe and fast into turn 3.
Okay. So you're used to doing these cars at this track, and you think you got to be smart about your driving. How much endurance do you think you're going to need for this race tonight? I mean, you've got, not a long, super long race, but it's only a 0.75 mile racetrack. How much concentration and how much endurance is it going to take to get around this track tonight?
If these guys stay green tonight, we're talking the top of the board right now is the 39. It's a 22-second lap with a little bit over. You don't have time to relax at any point. Richmond is one of those tracks that requires 100% concentration all the time. There are moments when I've raced here that I have wished for a caution just to have that moment to breathe. The backstretch will give you a little bit of respite from just full-on concentration, but the front stretch is a tri-oval. It's banked. You have to sweep it just right to be able to get the proper exit in, or entrance into one. As we see the 3 get a little bit loose there. I love this track for the level of concentration it takes, but I also hate it for that same reason.
Well, we've got actually a lighter field tonight than we normally see. I'm not sure why we don't have the 30-plus cars that we've kind of grown accustomed to seeing, well over into the 20s at least. Tonight we're going to have a little lighter field. I guess a lot of guys kind of feel intimidated by this track maybe.
And that would be my guess. In any of the leagues I've run, Richmond has a tendency to be one of those tracks that you see a little bit lighter of attendance because, again, it's, in my personal opinion, it's one of the more difficult tracks to drive, and especially with the Xfinity cars, that they're just barely down on the Cup cars for power, but definitely down on the Cup cars for technology. So it's not an easy car to drive on a track that's not easy to drive.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you on that. This is going to be a fun race. You are familiar with these guys as much as I am, but you're going to see here, we're going to see a lot of really good racing. These guys are really good racers. They really respect each other for the most part. We won't see a lot of flaring up. Maybe tonight we might, because this is one of those tracks that has a tendency to bring some flare-ups between some drivers, and hopefully we don't see much of that. Falkingham, like I've said, he's the one to watch, as every week we watch him. Tommy Ryan's another great driver. Jeff Hollywood, who's running third right now on the board, is really good. Mike Kelly, Mr. Consistency. That's the guy. Every week I sit here and I say, Mike Kelly is going to be in the top 5. It just works that way every week. He's just a very consistent driver. Robert Gillenwaller, another guy that's a really consistent driver. And, a lot of these guys back here are really good. So.
And just from what I've watched of your broadcast, I'm excited to be able to sit here in the booth tonight for the simple reason that I've seen the quality of driving that's here. It makes for excellent viewing as we're starting to see everybody get out for their qualifying laps. I'm just excited to go green because Richmond, with how it is banked and things of that nature, sometimes the outside groove can be brought into play by the brave. Well,
there's the brave in this league. I can tell you that. We'll see some outside groove being played tonight, I'm sure, as we see some of the drivers out on the track right now. Mike Kelly's out there, as well as a host of others trying to get their time in, and we'll see who actually.
Well, Scott Smiley was the first one to get a lap in. It was a relatively slow lap, but we saw him on his out lap. He was running high to try to get the tires ready, and right now Mike Kelly is the top of the board with a 22.46, and he's on his second hot lap of qualifying, and he has been supplanted by Scott Smiley.
His teammate knocking him off,
and immediately he leapfrogs him after he finishes his second lap.
The 2 Verizon cars were up there, and there's Jeff Hollingsworth taking second from Scott Simley. So Simley's going to drop back to third right now. We've got a lot of drivers yet to go. Joey Katina is out there. We'll see how well he does. Jimmy Coleman's another one. We'll definitely watch him as well. He's going to be fast, I'm sure. Robert Gillenwater, Jeff Ryan. So many of these guys are. Richard Swavely could do something. Who knows?
And we just sit there and watch Robert Gillenwaller come out of turn 2, get a little bit loose on exit, but sometimes that can be fast. And sure enough, he takes over the top of the board in the number 4 car.
Yeah, he'll be fast. There's no doubt about it. We're definitely gonna have to keep our eyes on him. We're patiently waiting to see the whole field go through and see where they stack them up. Will Daniel Falkingham get a good run tonight? Will he start farther back? I don't know.
Robert Gillenwaller does not improve on his time on his second lap, so we will actually jump on watching the 39, who will be starting his fast lap right here, and we'll get to see if he's capable of getting that good lap, and we'll go a little bit farther out here to see him get that beautiful run, nice arc along the top of the track. He's going for the late apex to get that extra power off of the turn to cross the line. His first one only puts him in 10th, but it looks like he's going for the fast lap on the second lap.
Yeah. Inside outside move. The outside inside is what it actually is. Here he goes, the bottom of the track, down across the line, off of turn 4 into the line. He'll bring it in to the top of the podium he goes.
And he is up in first by a solid 10th of a second. So we will go ahead and jump on board here with Jeff Ryan, see what he's going to do. He's already put in 1 lap, and it has him currently in 10th. And he is entering turn 3. He's given a little bit of extra space off of that yellow line through the turn, which I will admit is probably the right move, except for those that are truly wanting to tempt fate with that quick flattening that happens on these bank turns here. And we'll jump to Tommy, who is also leaving a little bit of padding between that yellow line and his car. Gets a little bit loose out of 2, collects it, but that is going to be the end of this lap, so he's going to go ahead and bring it on in. So we'll just jump around. It looks like there's quite a few people that don't want to turn that lap in qualifying today, as the session is over. So as we jump to the 3-minute warm-up, all right, Randy, we have seen our qualifying.
Yes.
Did it really shake out the way you would have figured?
Yeah, pretty much. It's, I mean, everybody up in that top 5, top 10 really is pretty much where I thought they would line up. I'm kind of surprised that Joey did not qualify. Also, Richard Swavely. I'm kind of surprised that those 2 guys did. Tommy Ryan, I'm actually really shocked that he did not even run his lap, because Tommy runs really well. And I thought he ran pretty well in practice. And so I'm kind of shocked that he did not come out here and try to duplicate his lap in practice.
Well,
but he did.
You have to figure some of these guys, everyone was expecting to see relatively large field tonight. Richmond is a shorter track, but still fast for a short track. Only 19 cars. Not qualifying tonight's not going to hurt you as much as it would on a regular week with this league.
Very true. Very, very true. It's still, but you let some of these other guys get up there in front of you, and you know it's going to be tough to try to catch them. I mean, even if you know Tommy Ryan starting back there at 14th, yeah, 14th doesn't seem like that much, but when you got guys like Scott Simley and Jeff Ryan, who forever we thought these 2 were related, but no, actually no, it wasn't him. It was the Coleman guys. We got 2 Colemans in here, I think. that they related, and they're not related. So we thought they were brothers, I think. So
It's a safe assumption under most circumstances.
yes, exactly. But so it was. I would not have thought that he would start 14th. I would have thought he would, after being so fast in practice, I thought he would come out there and qualify maybe a top 5, maybe top 8. But I mean, 8 and 14, I guess, is not that much difference. But it is when you're trying to catch somebody like, Robert Gillenwater or Daniel Foggingham. So.
Well, and Richmond, while not as bad as some short tracks, it is going to be a track position kind of race, because it's really going to take a very brave move to be able to get many passes done unless you can force someone to run a very uncomfortable low line. The outside isn't the easiest to run. Possible, but isn't the easiest.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead really quickly and run through our starting grid of 19 for the night. So first, and starting on the inside, is Daniel Fockingham. Second is Robert Gillenwater. Third is Jimmy Coleman. Fourth, Mike Kelly. Fifth is Jeff Hollingsworth. Sixth is Scott Smiley. Seventh, Jeff Ryan. Eighth is Gerald Livingston. Ninth, Jerry West. 10th is Mark Fravert. Hopefully I got that right.
And starting 11th, Derek Myers. Starting 12th, Mark Cretan. Starting 13th, Doug Sigmund. 14th, Tommy Ryan. 15th is Charles Woods. 16th will be Joey Cantina. Starting 17th, it's Richard Swavely. Starting 18th, it's Paul Kremmery. And 19th is going to be Kevin England. So that'll be the field tonight. And we'll just get ready to watch these guys race for some fun times tonight.
And I'm hoping to see some good side-by-side action. We're definitely going to get to see that for the first 4 laps. Hopefully these guys will keep it clean, but luckily Richmond isn't one that you need to keep that front end too clean to be able to be fast. And you know what? It'll allow for a little bit of beating, a little bit of banging. And these guys, I want to see them go lug nut to lug nut.
Oh, yeah. We want to see a lot of lug nut to lug nut racing tonight for sure. And as the pace car will make its way around the field, around the track, bringing the field around, should be going green flag racing next time around. Thanks for watching tonight. The Ghost Fire Media Network is on the air. If you're out there watching for the first time, please give us a wave, say hey, and maybe we'll give you a shout out. So here we go. Off of turn 2, down the back straightaway, 2x2, side by side, lug nut to lug nut. The field makes their way. Daniel Fockingham already pulling away, trying to get himself situated. We're sure Robert Gillenwater is looking to figure out how he's going to catch. And here we go. Pace car is off. Green flag is about to fly. Green flag is out. Here we go, racing at Richmond Raceway as Daniel Fockingham takes off by a 1-2-3 car length lead over Gillenwater. Then it's a 2x2 battle back there for third between the 54, Jimmy Coleman, and Mike Kelly. Kelly does clear the 54 as the 54 will tuck back in line. So it's 1-2-3. Fockingham, Gillenwater, Jimmy Coleman, Mikey Keller, and Jeff Hollingsworth for the first time.
And these guys got into line quickly. I was not anticipating everybody looking to get that, as we actually see Gerald Livingston get a little bit loose at the back of the frame there, and that's going to bring up a lot of side-by-side here towards the back of the field, as the front is just going on rails in a line. And that's unfortunate for Gerald Livingston, because he is now back 8 places from where he started. And it's unfortunate to see in something that's going to be relatively difficult to pass at.
Yeah, you fall like a brick very quick here. If you're not in line where you need to be, you're going to go back. Just kind of like the draft at Daytona. If you're not where you need to be, if you're 3 wide, you get in the middle, you're going to go back. Same way here. You got to find that line. If you don't find it quick, you're going to take a quick fall back to the back as Faulkingham leads at lap 5. So if they continue like this, these laps are going to fall like nothing tonight. We'll be done soon.
And we'll go ahead right onto that back bumper of Faulkingham. And there's a bit of a gap there to where I can't read that. I know it's a Camaro on the front of that bumper, but it's not within vision of this camera. So he is setting himself up. He's got just the perfect gap to where he doesn't really need to push. He can save his equipment for a long run the tank dry, and just be able to sail into the sunset, even though he's still pulling away. And I'm gonna jump back right now. Got a little bit of action here as Jeff Ryan and Derek Myers are starting to get a little bit close, but Derek Myers got the pass done. I was a little bit late, so I'm gonna take a quick jump back and look at the replay there. He just gets himself down below through 3 and 4, and once you have that line, it's over.
And I just said, bang, I'm out of here.
Well, and it looks like
easy to say that.
Missing a few things is it looks like Mark Crichton may have had a little bit of an issue, so let's go ahead and actually I'm going to go live because there seems to be some shakeups going on in the middle of this field. This is currently the battle for 11th. We've got 3 guys right here side by side looking to try to shake things up and get themselves a little bit farther in the field. Where Mr. Charles Wood is moving along, and
we got a couple of these battles back here in the back. They're kind of trying to make some things happen. Besides that one, I mean, you got Jerry West trying to hold off some guy behind him. I mean, you got Ryan right behind him. Actually, the 2 Ryan guys, Jeff and Tommy, are working with each other now.
Then I'm actually going to jump up towards the front of the field as it's looking like Robert Gillenwater is starting to feel a little bit of pressure from Mike Kelly.
Yeah, that's Mike Kelly. That's what he does. He'll sit back there for a little bit, and then eventually he'll just kind of sneak up on you and get around you. He's finished bridesmaid a few times this season, and maybe this time he will be the bride instead of the bridesmaid. If something happens to Falking where he can get that car dialed in and just sneak one out.
And I'm actually going to take and really quickly go with the gyro cam of Jeff Hollinsworth. He is closing in on Scott Smiley, and this is the battle to get into the top 5. And there's a few cars right here in a line. We can take a quick lap through and get to see. This track does not feel like it's only 3/4 of a mile.
It does not. It definitely plays a lot bigger than it actually is. There's no doubt about it. And I want to correct you that's not Smiley. We did that for months. We called it Smiley. It's actually Simley. Yeah, Simley.
I will actually admit that I'm diagnosed with my dyslexia, so I would have screwed that one up no matter what.
Don't worry about it. We did it. Both me and Nick did it for, probably at least a month.
All right.
And by the way, you don't want to call Mike Kelly Mikey. He hates when I call him Mikey, but I do it on purpose because we have Mikey Kelly in the AOL. Mm-hmm. And when I first saw his name, I was like, I called him that, and he's like, "Why do you call me Mikey? My name is Mike." So Good times, let me tell you.
As a Josh, I will be the first to say, if anyone calls me Joshy, I will slap you. And I unfortunately just gave a Randy Pepper ammo to annoy me.
Come on, Joshy.
I'm going to go ahead and jump to the back here as we've got a pack of 3 right on top of each other. And it's the same pack that we already have looked at once. This is Jeff Ryan, Charles Woods, and Richard Suavely all going side by side. And this is the kind of action that I want to see at Richmond.
Yeah, absolutely. Richard getting a little Rico Suave on him. If you ever noticed that song.
Hey, Randy.
Time. Yes.
I would like it to be known that generally iRacing goes to a younger crowd, and they probably do not know that. However, I do.
Oh boy, funny. Yeah, actually, Suavely's actually running really good tonight. It's good to see that 32 running as well. As you're looking at Mike Kelly, Mike.
Got to make sure
working on Gillen all over the back bumper there. He's only about a half a car length behind him, following in tow. Gillen Water will pull that car to the bottom of the track. He's making sure there's no room for that 2 to dive down there below the line and get around him. So,
and honestly, while Richmond isn't necessarily a massive drafting track, it doesn't hurt you on that backstretch. So if he can get himself up a little bit closer, even saving that 100th of a second can be massive going into the turn, because all you need is just that sliver of a bumper under the quarter panel to be able to get yourself in front of someone.
Yeah, that's all it's going to take, definitely. One little bobble too. That little bobble and you're toast. And the guy behind you, the closest Mike is running behind him, he'll be all over him.
And right now, Robert is not giving him that chance. He is down there all the way to the line, gets himself in the perfect position to defend. It may not be the fastest line that he can figure, but it's definitely enough to defend. And I'm going to actually make a quick trip in the back, as we've got to get to see, right as we get there, our crossover move from Gerald Livingston on the number 15 of, of Paul. I will slay that. But we're seeing a lot of slicing and dicing as we have got 25 laps on the book. There's going to be a lot of people that may have killed their tires at this point in the race, just trying to stay where they were. And now those who are good at conservation are going to start to come to life.
Yeah, and that's one thing, like Kelly, I've talked about him. He's one of those guys that will save his tires, as well as Ryan here. We're watching the number 3 of Ryan, and he's another one that will kind of save his tires and then come alive as the race goes. Daniel Falkingham, he's always in conserve mode. Unfortunately, his conservative mode is still always faster than anybody else.
Well, and what we can do here is go back to the same view we went to him with last time. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can barely see specks in the background there. And I will again say, Richmond's, it takes a very special person to like Richmond. I'm one of those weird people that somehow likes this track, but I've also heard many people complain about it.
And Mikey Kelly was able to get around Gillen Water. So,
all right, let's go ahead and take a quick jump back here and see what happens. Just entering turn 1. All you need is that one good run out of 4. Show that you are not going to do anything other than stick your nose in, and there's the pass.
Yeah. It's just a matter of time. He's one of those guys that saves his tires. He's really smart about his driving. Just like I say, he's very consistent. And here he runs second tonight. Trying to track down that number 39 of Falkingham, which is always a tall task for everyone.
And not to say anything, but we would have to go back a little bit farther, and it just looks like Robert Gillenwater maybe just had a bobble coming out of 4 that gave him the opportunity to pass, because he's still fast. He hasn't pulled away very much to where it looks like Mikey Keller, and actually the yellow is out right now.
Oh, caution's on the speedway. Caution.
And we got ourselves 30 laps, so we got a fifth of the way into this race before the caution happened. So let's see. What was the problem? The 96?
Ooh.
I don't know what to say about that one.
He just had a good run and got down there and got into the side of the 3 of Rhine.
And honestly, for me, I'm looking at this. There's no... He had no clue that there was somebody coming there.
Not at all.
And
I mean, he had, Livingston had a great run. I mean, he was just on fire. He was moving.
And we're going to make a quick jump here because everybody's making their way in. So we'll take and park our camera right here to see what kind of race is off of pit lane. We're going to get to see ourselves who's going to be able to be the big winner, and Daniel Falkingham is the first person off. That's not much of a shocker with the best pit stall and kind of lead he had. But not really seeing many shakeups coming off of pit lane.
No, everybody pretty much. Well, Gillenwater was able to get around Kelly, so that's one. But everybody else,
he was threatening going into that, so the pit lane or the pit stop time wasn't necessarily the big difference between them. It was the time on pit lane that was the big difference, to where Mike Kelly had about a half a second more. So either his entrance was slow or he just wasn't quite running at the maximum speed limit of pit lane.
I'll have to figure it out later, but all it means now is Mike Kelly is going to have to fight his way around Gillenwater again.
Well, he gets to start on the inside, so that's going to be an advantage in itself, as long as he can get a good jump.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true. Very true.
So, Randy,
with 35 of 120 down. So,
Randy, I'm new to this broadcasting this league. I don't know enough about Sharue Diecast.
Well, let me tell you about Sharue Diecast. Sharue Diecast is the one-stop specialty shop for your diecast desires. Rare and hard to find items are available at Sharue Diecast. Surprise a diecast enthusiast in your life with a rare find or treat yourself just unique. Located in the heart of West Texas, Sharue Diecast is positioned to offer excellent on shipping from border to border and coast to coast. Pre-orders are available at no cost to you until the goods arrive. Visit SharueDiecast.com today. That's SHARUE diecast.com. So that's what you need. And I know you like diecast. What's your your diecast that you want to get next? Any idea, Josh?
So for me, I actually owe someone that I work with who's a big diecast that the pace car is off.
Go
Oh
for it.
no, we'll go ahead.
Yeah, I mean,
We'll
we're
get
looking at
back
this.
to it.
Yeah, you see Mike Kelly jumping down side with Gillenwater as they come off of turn number 2. Falkingham running away from the field as Kelly was able to get around Gillenwater and then back behind them. They are side by side, stacked up 2 by 2, lug nut to lug nut as they come off of turn number 4 down to the line. The 12 of Simley got a little sideways there. He had to reel it back in. That was a good run, man, as he's got a good race going there with Coleman.
And it looks like cautions are breeding cautions. We're back under yellow. So we will take a quick look. It looks like Jerry West may have gone off track, and whew, that is a slide off of turn 4. And while there's some grass on the tires, there's no paint on the wall.
That's right. No slam dunk this week for Jerry West, which is a good thing. And if you didn't, do you know the reference? Each week, me and Nick have this reference for Jerry West.
And the worst part is as we were going through all the drivers, I was just like, why do I know that name? And the second you make that reference, it clicks in my head.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we are under caution for the second time tonight here at the network. Myself, Randy Pepper, alongside Josh Laston tonight, joining me. It's always good to have Josh in the booth. Actually, me and Josh have only worked once before. We enjoyed it so much. And Josh said, I like racing Daytona with the AOL guys, but you know what? I think I got a chance to work with Randy Pepper. And Randy's been through some tough times lately. I think I'm going to go help him out and have a good time with Randy. I do appreciate you losing that bet there. But
and honestly, the biggest draw for me is I found out it was Richmond. I found out that it was your return race for the broadcast. And you know what? The racing has been fantastic. Hanging out with a Randy Pepper is always fantastic. So,
likewise.
What better way to spend a Wednesday night than racing with the Sim500 Sharue Diecast Premier Xfinity Series? I watch these broadcasts every Thursday morning while I'm doing my humdrum work at the office. So you know what? Why not actually take part?
I mean, I could sit around here all night just sipping on my ultra premium handcrafted El Dito Yankee tequila, but I'm not. I'm here with you, and I'll do that later because El Bandito Yankee tequila is the best tequila there is out there. It's smooth, it tastes great, and it does the job. I'll tell you what.
Well, I mean, it's probably way better than the strawberry kiwi Capri Sun I'm drinking right now.
It'll definitely take the edge off, I'll tell you that for sure. Pace car's lights are still on, so we're still under caution. I'm actually kind of surprised that the pace car might have turned the lights off by now, but we're still under caution, so we still got a little time to get some things wrapped up here. 42 laps are down at 120. That will make up tonight's race. Pace car will come down across the line. I anticipate the pace car lights will be off this time around.
As we start to see everybody start to stack up 2 by 2, that's always the sign that everybody's excited to get back to racing. We had a solid 30 laps of green flag, and
yeah, well, we get another solid. You know what I'm looking at is, will Gillenwater take the spot away from Mike Kelly this time?
he has the advantage that if he can get the jump and make sure that he keeps just a little bit of the car underneath that number 2, he should be able to have second place by the end of the lap, as the pace car is off and these guys are waiting to get a jump. The 39 gets an a 1-2 car length jump over second place, and sure enough, exactly what happens is the number 4 seems to get a little bit of a run going into turn 1, but can't really hold on to it. The 12 is going to slot in behind him, and as we go a little bit farther back in the pack, we may end up with a little bit of 3 wide action coming out of 4 here, as the 54 manages to hold on to 5th place. But the 33 of Derek Myers is going to try to get down below, get a great run, and get himself up into that top 5. But he's not going to go away very quickly, as the 99 is fighting back on the outside there, coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, really good run for the 33 of Myers. We don't usually see him run quite this good. But tonight he's really on fire. The Bang Energy car that Sammy Guevara is a big sponsor of Bang Energy, and it looks like it may have given Myers a little bit of energy. But they have settled in all the way around the whole Richmond Raceway. We've got a Cogna line forming.
And for now, that's probably the right move for these guys. We had one caution, followed by another quick one to where we barely completed a lap. Let's let these guys settle in. The guys that know that they're going to be better on the conservation want to run for a little while, and I'm going to jump up here as I go one car too far, because we saw a little bit of a bobble out of the 4 car coming out of turn 2, and Scott Simley is waiting for another because he's only about 0.2 of a second back.
Yeah, he's waiting for that number 4 Gillenwater to go into beast mode here in second, but right now he's not in beast mode. He's just kind of sitting in a sitting duck mode, waiting for Simley to get around him if he keeps running the way he is.
Well, he managed to get an extra 10th, which always good. Any kind of gap you can put yourself on, as we actually see a little shake coming out of turn 2 from the 12. But we're starting to see as we go farther back, there's a line forming. So if these guys have any kind of an issue trying to keep their positions, there's a lot of people laying in wait to take that away from them.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing here out of Myers and that Bang Energy car. He's really running a interesting line. He's not running quite the same line as some of these other guys. He'll take the car down to the bottom of the track, and then he'll really let it shake out far, way almost towards the wall, and then he'll bring it back down and then slide it back out. So he's got a little bit different line that some of these other guys are doing.
And as a racer myself, I'm actually looking at how he's running and wondering why more people aren't, because it's the same line I would run. Honestly,
what's even working?
Yeah, he's having a fantastic run. He's up 5 spots from where he started. And as we look, that number 99 is getting close to him on corner entry, but he pulls away as soon as he gets himself out of that corner.
Mm-hmm.
And a track like Richmond, that corner exit's a little bit tricky. The later you can hit that apex, the better.
Yep, absolutely. And that 99, we started way back in 14th, and now he's running up there in the top 10 and trying to make his way up there. Ryan, I knew he was going to be up here sooner or later. I just knew it. Unless something drastic happened, I knew he was going to be a factor here along the way.
And I'm one of those people. We're talking about a championship. We're talking about 14 races. It's not about that one win, it's about the consistency. That's all that really something like this takes. And obviously we have one person that seems to be running away with everything. So you take your moral victories. Sometimes getting a third place is the best thing that will ever happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
But
one interesting fact, though, I'm looking at here. Tommy Ryan started 14. Now he's running 7. Jeff Ryan had started 7 and is now running 14.
Your ability to do math right there on the fly is amazing to me, because I would have never have pieced that one together, and it's 100% accurate. And we actually have somebody that just jumped into the pits. Joey Gattina. I think I got that right.
Yeah, that's Joey Katina. Yeah.
And he's jumping into the pits. I'm wondering if he knows something that everyone else doesn't, and it's time
He's
to
2
go.
laps down right now. So
I'm looking
3
at
laps.
his time in the pits. I think he may have just parked for the evening.
Yeah, Joey will do that from time to time. That's not something we're going to be too surprised about. Joey's one of our admins, so that does happen. You know, he's got other duties to do than just run around the track. So that may be all he's doing. He's doing a little back office work. And still, Falkingham is running away from the field again. 1.4 seconds ahead.
Well, we can, rather than go on to the bumper of Falkingham, we'll see Mike Kelly here. Randy, as a driver, is there anything more frustrating than seeing what you would out of the windshield right here?
No, not really. I mean, you know, especially if you're a guy that, you know, you're not used to being in the top 5 or whatever, and you know you have one car to beat, and he's getting smaller and smaller in the front of your car. That's just, it's frustrating. You just like wonder, what is it going to take to catch this guy? What is it going to take to beat this guy? He just gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and that's what we're looking at here. He's getting smaller. There's no doubt about it.
We're on lap 64 of 120. We are close to 20 laps from the last caution. And he's only managed to open up just under 2 seconds of a gap. Before the first caution, he had opened up close to a 3-second gap.
He's saving his tires. I hate to say it, but that's what I know he's doing.
But you have to take some of those moral victories to where Mike Kelly, knowing that he's still visible, can be a win in itself.
I guess so. Yeah, I will be interested if it's ends the way it is right now. I'd like to know what Mike Kelly was thinking as he's watching Falkingham just drive away into the sunset.
Again, but the thing is Mike Kelly is now well over a second at 1.3 seconds over Robert Gillenwater, who is still under pressure from Scott Simley. And now there's a few other people that are joining this little party to where we have Jimmy Coleman, a name that I haven't really said much about today.
All I knew is it's a matter of time. Jimmy Coleman's a good driver. We see him a lot out there doing this.
And then Tommy Ryan. All of these guys are within 1 second of each other, so the battle for third could go any direction with these 4 cars right now.
Yes, this battle here could switch at any time, because all 4 of these guys are running basically the same times, it looks like, and one of them makes a little bobble here or there, and the other one's going to take that position from them. So this is probably one of the best battles on the whole track right now. And,
well, I'm actually going to take a jump back here to the battle for 14th as we're seeing Doug Sigmund and Jeff Ryan going door handle to door handle, lug nut to lug nut through turns 3 and 4. And that 404 car gets himself down below, but the 3 is looking even lower coming out of turn 2. And we're right back to being side by side.
Yeah, Ryan's not willing to give up that position, and Sigmund's going to have to Sigmund forward the other direction again, as Ryan's not willing to give it up. But I think they might swap again, as you saw Sigmund look to the inside, and he'll have to back off. His car seems to be drifting up the track quite a bit, and it looks like maybe he used up those tires to make that position.
Yeah, we're about 30 laps in, but I'm going to go back up here as the battle for third place just continues as we see the 12 car. I don't know if it was getting loose out of turn 2 or just taking a little extra peek down to that lower line coming out. But these guys are still only separated by 1 second. And on a track like this, that's nothing.
No, that's just like sticking a blanket over all 4 of them.
However, the battle in 3rd and 4th has separated themselves by, we're closing in on a half a second. I'm wondering if Scott Simley really is just biding his time, waiting to see if the tires are going to be better on his car. Yeah, he seems to just be pushing a little bit hard coming out of turn 2.
Well, Simley, I'm sure Simley and Kelly are on the mic together on their own Discord, and they're probably talking to each other. And I'm sure that, you know, Simley has asked Kelly, how did you make that move to get around him? And maybe he shared some information, said, you know, about 30 laps in, his car is going to lose momentum, his tires are going to go away, and they'll be able to go around him. So, you know, that could be part of it.
Wait, teammates actually help each other? I thought they were just jerks to one another.
Only in the close circuit team.
That's why I love those guys.
Yeah, so it's the guy that has a hidden Mickey on his car.
Well, let's not talk about my random picture of my teammate that's hidden on my car. Just because it's a photo that we have an unspoken agreement that I'm not to put fully on a car after one of my other teammates ran with my face on the car this weekend.
Yeah, I saw that. That was kind of funny too. But yeah, as long as you're carrying a hot Carl on your car, it's all good.
Hot Carl.
Get the saran wrap, folks.
As we are about to get ourselves to 2/3 race distance, we seem to have settled ourselves in for just a little while, and it looks like the number 99. I'm gonna take a quick jump back because while we were chatting, made a move.
Yep.
And that was a dive going into turn 3 that I will say that this track ventures and will give the brave opportunities, but I'm sorry, and it keeps going to the wrong camera, so I'm gonna do something that I normally get yelled at here.
Whee! Backwards. I feel like I'm on Icebreaker.
He gets the good run, and honestly, there's no way I'm not making that move in that position. Because that is one of those that just, buttons again. You can't not. If you have that small opening, and as long as you are showing you're taking that move early, hopefully the guy pays attention, but
He's right up back on the back bumper assembly now. The Ryan in that 99 is looking to progress a little farther. So now we've got 3 cars sitting there nose to tail running around Richmond Raceway with Gillenwater leading that pack with Silly right behind him, right on the back bumper. Drifts a little high. Ryan's looking a little low, like Ryan may try to take that third position or fourth position away from Simley. Simley's now got to drive on the defense. He was trying to drive on the offense, and now he's got to be watching his mirror to make sure that 99 does not snake that position away and saying, shamalama, my ding dong, see you later.
And the one thing that Robert Gillenwaller's wanting to see in this whole process is that 99 make his presence known to where he can put that number 4 in the exact right position to make it to where the 12 can't get down below him, even though it looks like as they hit lap traffic, he might have been thrown a little bit off. But the number 4, he's in the exact right place on every turn, and there we see the 99 get a little bit of extra power off of the turn, and the 12 runs a slightly higher line, and that could spell a little bit of trouble, but he carries the extra momentum and is going to get himself clear and stay clear. But that little bit of a bobble and running the higher line gives the 4 just about a half a second's worth of breathing room.
Yeah, I see that. I see the 4 actually breathing a little sigh of relief as he's seeing his mirror. He's seeing the 12 and the 99 battling for that position. He's going, y'all just keep battling, because as long as you guys do that, I'm going to drive away and just drive away safe.
And right now we're seeing this battle from the bumper of Robert Gillenwaller to where we're seeing that Ford Pony and that Chevy Camaro, I guess.
Yes, no.
Sit there and do battle to where we start seeing the little bit of a difference in the line there. And this is a great angle to be able to see that Tommy Ryan, he's getting that nose just a little bit lower and earlier, holding it lower. So he may actually be doing a little bit of extra damage trying to get himself around Scott Simley right now. Wow.
And you know, he's made up all that distance back there. This time he's got a good run. Let's see if he's going to make it stick side by side as they go into the turn. And he's bringing Coleman with him as well. Coleman thinks that maybe this might be the way to get around Simley. Simley's still tough on that outside. He's still holding his own. And this time Ryan's going to try it again down on the very bottom of the track. Sticks it on the bottom of the track on the line. Trying to hold that position down there, trying to get around that 12. The 12 was not going to let him get around that easy. This time he's got a really good side-by-side right up on the side. Coleman back there just watching this whole thing going on is, you know, maybe thinking, can I get around, or these guys going to wreck? Oh, no, he's going to try to follow line around that 12. What do you think of that battle there?
Oh, that is just fantastic. And if I'm Jimmy Coleman right now, I'm running the full line, but I am going to go ahead, and once there is the slightest opportunity for me to get a nose below that number 12, I'm going to do that, and they're going to use the 04 as a pick right here, and both the 99 and the 54, the 99 is going to get fully clear, but the 54 is going to use that opportunity to get himself down below the 12. And will he throw that car down below right now? The 12's giving him plenty of room, but he closes off the exit of 2 and gets himself fully clear. And that is, the 99 played the pick perfectly. 54 just couldn't capitalize.
No, the car did not stick where it needed to go, and the 12 assembly is still just a little too tough to let him fall back as and now they're going around the 3 of the other Ryan, and they make their way around, and still they're going to leave that 3 of Ryan up top, and for watching that Simley and Coleman battle.
And they caught him at the exact right time, because if there's an end of this track you want to do that in and try to get around lap traffic, it's definitely 3 and 4 and in the front stretch. I may be weird in thinking that it's easier to hold the rear end in these cars coming out of turn 2, but the continued banking coming out of 4, in my personal opinion, is a little bit easier, but I know not everyone's going to agree.
So what goes on? I mean, Josh, you know these cars pretty well and this track pretty well. What's this many laps into this run? What is the car at? Is it loose in the back end? Is it tight, running up towards the wall? Are you fighting it every lap? What's going on with the car right now?
In my experience, because we've got 24 laps to go, these guys have been definitely out here on these tires for a solid, we'll call it 60 laps of hard racing. Depending on your driving style, unfortunately mine, the entire right side of the car is gone. I drive a little bit more aggressively and kind of use the back end to steer the car, so when a car is tight, it doesn't bother me as much because I just send the back end. But with this car specifically, if I remember correctly, the iRacing stock setup that they're using, they're reaching the point that this front end does not want to turn. It's sliding. Luckily, we're running here at night, so it's a little bit cooler and a little bit nicer to the tires. But it's still going to be a bear to get that car to turn left.
So what you're saying is these guys are having a little tougher of a time controlling these cars right now.
And that's why I have to commend these guys that after the lap 40 caution, we have 20 laps to go. We have done 55 laps without incident. Right now, this car is getting very difficult to drive. And we jump back here, and here's the battle for 5th. And Jimmy Coleman is doing everything in his power to get around Scott Simley.
Still falling right behind him in tracks for sure. And I mean, he had his opportunity earlier, and now he's trying again. And I mean, the laps are winding down here. If he's going to make it happen, he needs to think about it soon for sure.
As we'll go on board in the Brandon Bernhardt roll bar camera, just because still don't have a better name for it, as he is just right there. This is only about 0.2 of a second. We have 18 laps to go. And in my racer's mind, he's holding this gap. He's not really trying to get himself closer from what it seems, because he's much quicker on entry, as we got to see that Verizon Wireless logo get a lot clearer as we got here. And
oh boy,
he's keeping that gap as a buffer. He's starting to see a little bit of air coming from the 12. So he has enough room to be able to react when there's a big enough air for him to get around.
He almost got that air because that 12 got a little loose a couple laps ago, and I thought he was going to make the run that time, but he didn't.
A quick jump up here as the 99 is right there on the bumper of the number 4. As the battle for 3rd is starting to heat up just as much as the battle for 5th.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And Ryan has caught him. Tommy Ryan has caught Robert Gillenwater in that 4. Tommy Ryan, who we've talked about quite a bit, did not qualify, was very fast in practice, and made his way all the way to 14th. He's all the way up to 4th now and looking for another position, try to get around that number 4 of Robert Gillenwater. And we're going to watch that battle and see if he can actually do it. I mean, he's following in his tracks, getting a little air off the back of the car, but he's going to need more than that to get around him for sure.
Just going to keep making the jumps back and forth here because we are seeing very similar styles of battle that we're talking 0.2 of a second, and these guys are 1 fraction of a second of loss of concentration away from losing a position.
Yeah, absolutely. When you got a guy on your bumper like both of these guys do, you're watching that back mirror, and now Gillenwater's he knows he's got a lap car up here, and he's got to pay attention to that as well. And we've already seen Ryan use another lap car as a pick. Will he do it again?
And it's just going to be a matter of, if I'm in Robert's shoes, chances are the lap car is going to stay high, but it's almost looking as if he's focusing on not closing in too quickly, because the cars in front of him, they have about 6-7 car lengths. Oh, that's actually bigger than it was looking.
We got a good battle back there. It looks like the 54. Coleman back there is now on the inside of Simley.
He gets that pass, but Simley is going to fight on the outside. He has shown he has the speed, about 2 car widths up from that low line. But will he be able to make it stick? Are these tires on the 54 just at the point where they're old enough to where that low line is going to spell disaster if he's forced down there for too long?
Yeah, that's a good question, because, I mean, Coleman has his car out by just a nose over the Simley car, but Simley seems to run that outside line really, really well. And they're side by side still. I mean, that's all they're doing, side by side all the way around this track. And hopefully it doesn't spell disaster for either one of them.
And we're 7 laps from the end of this race. I'm wondering if these two are going to try to keep this up for the rest of the race.
I am too.
And they're seeming very content in trying. I'm just going to take and quickly jump back up here to see the race for 3rd place, and it looks like Tommy Ryan may be just laying in wait and giving a second. So we're going to go ahead and jump right back here into the battle for 5th, where Scott Simley, I don't know how he's making that outside line work as long as he is.
He's not going to be able to do it. He's not going to be able to do it much longer, because they've got the 15 up there in front of them. The 15 of Crumry is right there. So one of these two is going to have to give up probably that position, and probably Simley, because Simley is running the exact same line as Paul Crumry.
Right now, actually, it looks like he may have used that little bit, maybe 2-mile-an-hour difference that you can get using a draft to get himself fully clear with 4 laps to go. And now all he has to do is run the defensive line and make sure that the 54 cannot get himself back in a position underneath. And 3 laps, that's a little easier to defend than he was before.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's running his line, biding his time, and hopefully he can hold on. And you got to wonder how much tires that the 54 used up. The 54 once again is going to dive, looking underneath, trying to get around the 12. The 12 is going to try just run enough of the bottom of the groove to where the 54 cannot get around him. And with 2 laps remaining.
With 2 laps to go, I think that little bit of a cutoff that he just pulled off may be it, but we have reached the white flag where Daniel Fockingham has got himself nice 6-second gap. He's got some lap traffic in front of him, but it should be smooth sailing to the checkered flag. Ooh, gets a tap.
Oh, no.
I'm hoping that's a love tap that he just got from the 04, but he's going to go ahead, take our checkered flag in the win tonight. And I'm going to immediately jump ourselves back here as Robert Gillenwaller is going to go ahead and take third. Tommy Ryan will be in fourth. Scott Simley will end up in fifth after that long-fought battle with Jimmy Coleman in sixth, and I managed to skip over Mike Kelly.
Yeah, no, you can't leave Mike out. Come on, Mike did a great job. He ran all by himself. He was pretty much kind of like Daniel Faulkingham. He's just on a whole new mission of his own.
And honestly, it was a great run from him. As we'll take and watch Mr. Faulkingham burn down the good years and take a quick run at the results. As our winner tonight was Daniel Faulkingham, second is Mike Kelly, third is Robert Gillenwaller, fourth Tommy Ryan, fifth Scott Simley, sixth Jimmy Coleman, seventh Derek Myers, eighth Jerry West, ninth Richard Swavely, and 10th is Jeff Hollingsworth.
11th was Kevin England. 12th was Charles Woods. 13th was Jeff Ryan. Doug Sigmund came home 14th. 15th, Paul Crumrye. 16th, it was Mark Cretin. 17th was Joe Katina. 18th, Gerald Livingston. And rounding out the field was Mark Brevitt.
All right. I guess it's time to go ahead and chat with our winner.
Yeah, let's bring him in and let's talk to him about this whole thing.
And apparently it doesn't want to let me do that. Are you able to do that for me?
Let me see if I can bring him. Let's see if I can grab. Oh, Mike Kelly's actually in the waiting room. Let's bring Mike up.
Are you able to?
Hey, Mike. It's Randy and Josh in the booth.
What's up, guys?
Not a whole lot. Just watching you trying to catch up to Daniel Faulkingham. You kind of running on your own little mission there, but a good run for second. And tell us about it, man.
Yeah, I was just going off into the other room to wipe some salve on my butt for that beating we just got from Daniel. Congrats to him. He had another race that I finished second to him. But, yeah, good race. We went on a long run there. Was using up the right front tire. No, tire wear was good. Turn 1 Hero cars were well prepared. Me and Scotty got a second and a fifth. Our tires were almost dead even after that run. So setup was good. Car was good. Couldn't catch Daniel, but we had everyone else covered.
Let me ask you something. When you got around the Gillenwater car, and then Scott had to do the same thing at one point, was trying to get around him, were you giving him tips about how you got around him?
No. Robert's a great driver. He's one of the hardest guys to pass out here with, clean running, nothing dirty. I'm not saying nothing dirty about it. He's just, consistent and fast and really hard to get around him. And I spent that whole first run before the yellow just being patient because I've been there with Bob before and you burn up your car trying to get around him. I mean, this isn't a track that's easy to pass on. So I was trying to be patient. And honestly, actually, Robert, a lot of the time at the end of the run, he'll be better than me. So I was trying to just shadow him, and then I got around him, and the yellow came out, and he beat me off pit road. I was like, oh, man, all that work for nothing. I finally got around him and then lost it during the pits. But we had a good run tonight, so proud of the team.
Good run. Josh, got any questions for Mike Kelly?
So you actually alluded to what my big question was going to be. We had a solid 70-lap run to finish this race.
90. Well, no, 80. 80-something, yeah.
How How butt clenching was it towards the end?
It was getting a little loose off the corner, so it was definitely. It's not like you could just, even though we were by ourselves, we couldn't relax. I mean, it was, yeah, it was getting loose, and I actually thought I was going to probably burn up the right front really bad on that run, and actually it got loose coming off the corners there at the end. So wore me out for sure. I got a sore right shoulder, sweating like a pig right now. So Richmond's always a lot of work and fun to drive, no matter what's going on with the traffic.
Well, good run tonight once again. As I call you, my Mr. Consistency.
That's me.
Always up there. So a good run. Maybe you sneak one from Falkingham one of these weeks.
You never know. He might make a mistake sometime, sooner or later. He's not a machine. I don't think he's a machine. Maybe he is. I don't know. But hey, he's like 20 years old, something like that. So
yeah,
I mean, he's got a lot more energy than I got. So
yeah, he doesn't have that brain fog we get when we get older.
No kidding.
He doesn't have to think about all those bills that we got to pay and all other crap.
Yeah, all those all he's thinking about is getting into the Pro Series right now. So that's good for him. We're all behind him on that. And want to thank Ghostfire Media and Sharue Diecast and all the sponsors and admins at Sim500, and thanks to my smoking hot wife.
Ooh, we're letting you do this, huh? All right, congratulations on another great run, man. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, I wouldn't be here without her in many ways. So thanks, guys, and have a great week.
You too. All right, let's go ahead and bring up our third place, or actually, third place guys, Robert Gillenwater, and let's talk to him. Robert, you got Randy and Josh up in the booth. How's it going, my friend?
Hey, man, how you doing tonight? Pretty good, pretty good.
So how was it tonight? Tell us about your race.
Well, I think at first run, I ran it harder than what I needed to, just trying to hold on to Daniel. It pushed it way too much, got back to the throttle way too quick off turn 4 once, and scrubbed the wall, and Mike got around me, but he was closing in anyway. I mean, he was quicker. I think we kind of leveled out towards the end of that run. I just didn't quite have the short run speed, but me and Tommy Ryan had a killer battle there at the end, and that was a lot of fun. But just felt like I was parking it in the middle of the corners. I was having to get down so slow to get the car to set to get back to the fuel. But I never lost my right rear. I was able to really get aggressive on exit, and I think that's what kind of helped me tonight.
Yeah, you had a good run, and I know earlier on you were battling with Mike Kelly, and Mike was able to get around you. And Mike said you were definitely one of the toughest people to get around on the track, and you definitely proved that tonight. For Ryan back there.
Yeah, well, and with Mike, I mean, Mike and I have had a little bit of a past, and I respect the hell out of him as a driver. And I'm one of those guys. I mean, if it's close, I'm going to battle for it. But unless it's coming down to the end of the race like that, I mean, Tommy ran me down. And if it's in the middle of the race and somebody runs me down, I'm not going to hold us both up. I mean, I'm going to let that guy go and try to regroup and do what I can. But when it's for a podium coming down to the end, it's all bets are off. You got to do whatever you can do to get there.
I agree. Absolutely. Josh, got any questions for our Mr. Gillenwater tonight?
So I'm going to ask the exact same question. As we had the long run to close out this race, how are you feeling with the car?
Well, I was kind of expecting it and kind of glad we had it. My tires were in pretty good shape. I mean, the normal fall off. That's what's great about this league is those long runs, and you just have to expect it's going to happen in a race, and you have to be prepared for it. So no big surprise there.
Well, good run tonight, man. And we will see you next week. Anybody to thank tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to take just a second. First and foremost, I mean, last couple of times I've been fortunate enough to be with you guys and be in a booth. I want to really shout out Sharue Diecast. Milt Matisse. I know Milt, great company, great guy, great inventory, great prices. I've personally ordered from Milt and Sharue Diecast and couldn't have been any happier with the service. Anybody looking to get into the diecast or looking for that diecast that may be a little harder to find, reach out to Milt at Sharue Diecast. Tell him Bob sent you, and he'll definitely take care of you. And other than that, the Beast TV group for sponsoring the car, we made an announcement we are going to run Beast TV in the full series here in 2022. So we're really excited about that. Going to meet up with those guys here in a couple of weeks and spend a few days with them. Thank the league, my teammates, and of course you guys at Ghost Fire Media. If you guys hadn't subscribed, watch these races. Can't get any better place for a broadcast. Just appreciate you guys a lot.
Hey, we appreciate you, man, watching you and making things enjoyable for us to watch. So couldn't do it without you guys. So congratulations on a third place run tonight, and we will see you next week here in the Sim500 League.
Sounds great, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, let's move Bob down, and we'll bring up our winner tonight, Daniel Falkingham. Here he is, Daniel Falkingham. What's happening, my friend?
Nothing much. How are you guys doing?
We are doing great. We're happy to be alive and have a good time. You got Josh Lassen in here with me, Randy Pepper, and Josh is being gracious enough to do the cameras and all the good stuff tonight, making you look good. So you got to give Josh a hit.
A delight to get to watch an absolute clinic on how to run Richmond in the Xfinity.
So tell us about your race, man.
Yeah, I don't know why. Richmond's one of my best tracks. It's one of my favorite tracks, so I knew I was going to run really good here. Was kind of early to see if that race was going to go green, see how like the pit cycles were going to play out and stuff, like what pitting we were going to have to do and stuff. But thankfully, with all the cautions, the way they fell, we were able to lead that thing flag to flag. So when you can lead race to flag, it's always a pretty good feeling.
How much practice did you do before this race or this particular track?
0.
I knew you were going to tell me that. Why do you always you just tell me this stuff and I automatically I know what you're going to tell me.
It's the same every week. I don't really. I'll come in and do practice laps like when I get in the actual session. But I do nothing beforehand. All my practice is when I get in the session. So
yeah, but you had like 4 laps.
Yep. Well, they're just the way. I just have a natural act for just getting used to a car, getting used to the track, and just putting my skills to work, I guess. So, but thankfully, it was enough, I guess, to put on a pretty. Like I said, Richmond is one of my best tracks, so I knew I was going to be pretty good here anyway. But just how is my performance going to be? Because I know I've had good performances in years past. How can I step it up even more? And I think that was a pretty good showing, I'd say.
Yeah, you did an awesome job. Josh, you got any questions for
So
winner?
Obviously, it seemed as if the win was inevitable. However, it looks like you may have had a little bit of a code brown coming through 3 and 4 on the last lap. What was going through your mind when there was a little car contact there?
Yeah, I have no idea what the frig that was about. Doug was like 10 car lengths ahead of me entering the last lap, but he was running like the most awkward line I've ever seen. So I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if he was just letting off so he could get laps so he doesn't have to do another lap, which I understand. But he literally just, I guess, forgot to turn left and then just drove straight into my left side, into my door. So the car popped up in the air a little bit. Thankfully, it didn't, net code hit me where I fully sent my car around. But thankfully, I had like a 6-second lead to get the thing gathered get the thing gathered up before my Kelly caught me. So, like I said, I don't know what that was about. That was pretty stupid in my opinion, but it's whatever. I've had worse incidents with lap cars, so thankfully we were able to get it back to the checkered.
Yeah, awesome, man. Definitely. That was kind of a shocker to me. It was like, oh my God, not again. So anyways, do you want to thank anybody tonight?
Yep, got to thank January 31st, my brand new sponsor coming on with me for all the 2022 series this year. I got to thank also First Rebate Life 207 are coming back with me as well. I got to thank Cosman Splash Go Graphics for bringing this beautiful car for me. I got to thank Joey, all the admins who run the show here. Thanks to Sharue and Diecast for sponsoring the series. Thanks to everyone who races each and every week. Thanks to you guys putting on the broadcast. Thanks to friends and family for watching. Thanks to all the fans who watch us as well. And special thanks to my team at North Force Racing and Presley Gilson, everybody over there. Thank you.
I think you covered them all, my friend. So we will see you next week. Congratulations on another win in the Sim500 Sharue Diecast Premier Xfinity Series. And, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I would say thanks, guys. Thank you guys again for the broadcast, and I'll catch y'all next week.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
All right, that'll wrap it up tonight, Josh. So how did you like your first broadcast in the Sim500 Sharue Diecast League?
So I'm not going to say I want the past few weeks to happen again, because we'll thank God that Randy, everything's okay and you're back with us. But I wouldn't mind having to come back and call another one of these, because the racing was brilliant. We had long green flag runs that, in most situations, that's going to end up leading to just some humdrum racing. But we had, coming to the checkered flag, we had 2 battles going on, and I couldn't decide which one I wanted to watch more.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, we had some good ones, and then a little bit of drama right at the finish line with the Sigmund car and our leader. So that was interesting to say the least as well.
But no, this league, I was already watching everything on Thursday mornings. Unfortunately, generally, I run a league on Wednesdays, but again, Daytona, not nearly as much fun as broadcasting with a Randy Pepper with the Sim500 Sharue Diecast League. I will trade Daytona any day of the week to come and join you again.
I appreciate it, my friend. And it was likewise. It was a good time broadcasting with you tonight. It's always fun with you. Very relaxed, calm, and give and take broadcast, which I really enjoy. The chemistry we share on this media team. So,
and we don't need someone giving you a heart attack every week now. And I promise not to do it on track like I did Sunday.
Yeah, if you're just joining into this stuff, I had a heart procedure last week, heart surgery last Tuesday evening. So I actually raced with Josh on Sunday night, and Josh decided to put me 3 wide at Daytona. And I went back and looked at my heart rate at that point. My heart shot up to 140. Which it's not supposed to go above 105.
And I promise I was not trying to kill you.
I'm sure you were, but boy, that was pretty interesting. Let's just say I'm going to have to be careful with the races I run for a little bit until I get back to 100% or 100%. Sorry about that. So anyways, let's clear this thing out of here. Let's head on back home to our prospective home lives, and I'd like to thank Josh Lassen for joining us tonight, handling all the cameras, all the producer work, all that good stuff. Like I always say, I'm just a voice. I'm nothing but a voice. I'm just the guy to help these guys get around here and teach them the world of broadcasting. So from the Richmond Raceway, I'm Randy Pepper. That's Josh Lassen. Until next week, we will see you on the Sim500 Sharue Diecast Premier Xfinity Series here on the Ghostfire Media Network. You guys have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching iRacing on the Ghostfire Media Network.